Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. The 12 universe masters from the demons, who were just filled with fighting spirit and confidence, were instantly dealt repeated heavy blows. The lofty black pyramid that was suspended high up in the air unleashed bouts of black ripples that unfolded and dispersed toward them, and these black ripples easily penetrated through their armor and reached within their godly bodies to start exerting influence over their souls. What is happening? It seems like no more strength. Willpower. I cannot focus my willpower. Prohibition Master and the rest of the Demon Universe Masters knew they were in trouble. This technique of sinking into the darkness was a move meant for attacking a group, but because it was attacking all 12 of them at the same time, it could not cause them to sink completely. Yet with their entire bodies feeling void of strength and their willpower unable to focus, even if they were to consume their godly powers and battle on with gritted teeth, the power they could release seemed to be only half of what they actually exerted. No fighting spirit. Willpower is under the influence. In such a terrible form. They were all feeling awful when an endless golden light and snow-white grains of sand floating about started to appear within a region of 10 light-years around them. If sinking into the darkness was influencing their willpower and souls on the surface, causing them to fall under an extremely great influence, then this combination of Golden Kingdom and Snow-Sand Ocean would be a material attack that placed a gigantic restraint over them. It was as though countless ropes were encircling the Universe Masters, binding every single one of them. It's a domain. That's Luo Feng's domain. Why does he still have his silver wings? I thought his silver wings got lost when he was in the 9th deep abyss. How is it possible that now Luo Feng's wings were still around, yet the domains of these universe masters were easily oppressed and crushed? Within this region of 10 light-years, everything fell under the influence of the countless icy cold, snow-white grains of sand floating in the golden light. Under this restraint, their powers were further reduced. Sinking into the darkness and restraining the domain were two moves that suppressed the average power released by the 12 universe masters to only 30% of their battle power. Among them, although Prohibition Master's willpower had reached the level of a universe supreme master, where the influence over him was smaller, he could, at most, unleash 60 to 70% of his power. As for the others who were weaker, like Sky Wolf Master, the power they could release was left with only 10 to 20%. Peng Gong Master and Darkness Master, your troops will jointly attack those 12 Universe Masters. Luo Feng performed a voice transmission instantly through his domain. Leave Dream Demon Ancestor to my troop. All right. All right. Peng Gong Master and Darkness Master responded right away. Luo Feng stood at the front deck of the gigantic boat of Mausoleum and dashed toward the 12 Demon Universe Masters without further ado. Dream Demon Ancestor was growling and roaring as it swung its body against Black Prison Tower in its attempt to stop Darkness Master from using the move sinking into the darkness. But at that very moment, Luo Feng, Dream Demon Ancestor's huge snake's head looked at the fast-moving boat of Mausoleum and knew the situation was bad. The 12 Universe Masters from its clan were already under extremely strong influence. If even it was being laid siege by Luo Feng, Peng Gong Master, and their troops, would that not mean they were finished? Get lost. It had a mighty, massive body, and because it was so humongous, it could easily attack Black Tower Prison, Peng Gong Master, and the boat of Mausoleum. With a single wave of its tail, it swung and whipped the boat of Mausoleum. Come on. Standing on the deck of the boat, Luo Feng's eyes lit up. Where it was originally charging toward the 12 Universe Masters, the boat of Mausoleum suddenly changed course in another direction. The boat of Mausoleum suddenly started to expand from 100 billion kilometers to 1 trillion kilometers. In an instant, it had expanded to a size that was comparable to Dream Ancestors. Previously, in Flame Ice region, when the 5 true masters of the Divine Eye clan utilized their supreme true treasures to form the attack technique Eternal True God, Luo Feng also expanded the boat of Mausoleum quickly and used it to defeat Eternal True God. This boat of Mausoleum was an automaton treasure from the ancient civilization. In terms of dynamism and dominance, it was a notch stronger than normal supreme true treasures. A gigantic vessel and a large silver snake, both were around the size of 1 light year. Two massive creatures were colliding against one another amidst the silent, starlit sky. Roar! Dream Demon Ancestor yelled, but she was quick to realize that pitting strength against the boat of Mausoleum was pure stupidity. The speed of the boat of Mausoleum was not the least bit affected, whereas her massive silver snake body was sent flying into the distance, belly up. Dream Demon Ancestor suddenly let out a furious shout. Luo Feng. When the boat of Mausoleum was expanding, Luo Feng had suddenly vanished and charged toward the 12 demon universe masters in the distance. With a huge pair of silver wings outspread, like a dazzling, sharp blade screaming through the air, he charged toward the 12 universe masters with murderous intention. Luo Feng had originally planned to make use of the boat of Mausoleum to deal with Dream Demon Ancestor. However, he saw that Dream Demon Ancestor had no plans to shrink into a smaller body. Instead, she seemed prepared to confront him head-on with that massive body as her way of resistance, so Luo Feng simply changed plans and charged toward the other 12 universe masters, leaving only an avatar of himself that was sustained by his godly power to control and navigate the boat of Mausoleum. The boat of Mausoleum was an automaton vessel, so it was very easy to control. Duan Dong River had died long ago, so now, a mere virtual consciousness was able to control the boat of Mausoleum. Furthermore, Luo Feng only needed to use part of his godly power to control it. Even so, the power that it unleashed was certainly not to be underestimated. 12 demon universe masters were instantly overcome with desperation. Sinking into the darkness and restraining the domain. Peng Gong Master, Luo Feng, and Darkness Master were charging toward them in the open. Yet who knew when the other human universe masters laying ambush in the dark would take action, while the three were dealing blows to them. The opponents had supreme true treasures, and that black prison tower, in particular, could keep them sealed and suppression. Quickly! Take cover in here. Into the boat. The 12 demon universe masters did not dare to make any reckless moves. Immediately, all of them hid in the huge vessel. Ancestor! 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 All 12 universe masters immediately pleaded for help. If they were up against the humans 1-to-1, they were certainly not weaker in comparison. Who would have expected the humans to have a supreme true treasure? This put them in a disadvantageous position, which had resulted in them being placed at the losing end right at the very beginning. Roar! From afar, Dream Demon Ancestor, who had been on the losing end from the start, pitted against the boat of Mausoleum, raised its snake's head and screamed out in rage. It was clear that being caught in a fight with the boat of Mausoleum was a silly move, so merely after a single exchange of blows, it reluctantly changed its strategy and shrank its godly body speedily. From as large as 1 light year, it rapidly transformed into a silver snake that was 10,000 kilometers long. Previously, it had taken up such a large form because it thought it would give it an edge over its opponent, that its massive size could suppress the entire troop of great beings from the human race. Then it could get the 12 universe masters from its clan to join forces and sweep out the entire human troop. But reality mocked it. Its opponents had the boat of Mausoleum and Black Prison Tower, which were 2 supreme true treasures palaces, so there was no way it could counterattack. Therefore, its initial plans added up to failure. After it had transformed into a silver snake merely 10,000 kilometers long, Dream Demon Ancestor's speed quickly soared at such a rate that it instantly surpassed the limit of the speed of light. It moved so fast that the naked eye could not see it. Only by probing around the domain with one's godly power could there be any hope of detecting Dream Demon Ancestor, who was moving at such a terrifying speed. This is what we call a Universe Supreme Master. Luo Feng, Peng Gong Master, and Darkness Master were all sighing in their hearts. Prior to the battle, they had devised strategic plans, because they did not feel that dealing with the demons would be easy. Just a Dream Demon Ancestor in its shrunken form, with its ability to surpass the speed of light and travel at such an unrestrained speed, it would be unstoppable. There would be no way they could restrain it. It could arrive at any critical spot on the battlefield immediately as it pleased. Get lost. The silver snake let out a roar and immediately crashed into the black prison tower. Hong! Long! Black prison tower reeled backward as it was thrown off its track. It's too fast. Luo Feng and Peng Gong Master looked at one another. After the silver snake crashed right into black prison tower, it stopped, suspended in midair. The 12 universe masters, who were hiding within the gigantic vessel, flew over and landed on the neck of Dream Demon Ancestor. All their godly bodies were maintained at a size of around 10,000 kilometers. Humans. Dream Demon Ancestor's icy gaze swept the surroundings. I have underestimated you all. However, without any Universe Supreme Master, the control rights of this fight lies with me. Now, I have decided that I shall deal with you all slowly, one after the other. Dream Demon Ancestor's gaze swept the humans and stopped at Peng Gong Master. First on the list will be you. Dream Demon Ancestor moved instantly. Its speed was so fast that it was terrifying. Peng Gong Master, on the other hand, let out an angry growl. He was holding onto Yang Jun Rod, which suddenly expanded as large as 1,000,000 kilometers. Then it mightily swept outward. All at once, time and space shattered to shards as Yang Jun Rod and Dream Demon Ancestor's tail crashed into one another. Dream Demon Ancestor was hit so hard that it was sent flying backward. Likewise, Peng Gong Master was forced to retreat a short distance. If this was Universe Ocean, do you think you would be my match? Dream Demon Ancestor roared in rage, full force attack. Yes, Ancestor. Yes. Meet your doom, Peng Gong. Meet your doom. The handful of Demon Universe Masters on the neck of its godly body attacked at the same time. At that moment, be it a far-range spiritual weapon attack, an enlarged blade hacking from afar, a soul-enforced attack, or an illusion attack, everything was thrown over at the same time, targeting Peng Gong Master in the distance. Sinking into the darkness. Black Prison Tower flew over and once again, it unleashed endless black ripples and tried to exert its influence over the 12 Universe Masters. Suppress. Luo Feng commanded in a low voice. Golden Kingdom and Snow Sand Ocean exerted their influence to suppress at the same time. Breaking free from everything. Dream Demon Ancestor roared. Instantly, all its godly power surged. At that moment, the surrounding time and space trembled and eventually became contorted. Its strong godly power was trembling. Time and again, it was hit by impacts, yet it could still turn the tables on the incoming force from Golden Kingdom and Snow Sand Ocean and force its suppression over them instead. Even the black ripples from Black Tower Prison had all been completely suppressed by it. The 12 Universe Masters were not the least bit affected. At the same time, all their attacks were directed at Peng Gong Master, who was trying his best to ward off the various hits with his Yang Jun Rod to no avail. His wits had been beaten out of him. After all, when the 12 Universe Masters joined forces without being under any influence, the strength they released was truly more terrifying than what a Universe Supreme Master was capable of. Ha ha ha. You are the first to be annihilated. Dream Demon Ancestor yelled as its speed soared at a terrifying rate. Right away, it charged toward Peng Gong Master. It was Dream Demon Ancestor. And the 12 Demon Universe Masters under its command were all joining forces. Even if Peng Gong Master had Yang Jun Rod, there was no escape from being sealed and suppressed. Do you really think you can fight us without a Universe Supreme Master? Humans, you're dead. Laughable humans. Under the neck of the Silver Snake, the Universe Masters of the demon race were all making attacks with all their strength. They also transmitted their voices, roaring. They appeared confident. With the help of Dream Demon Ancestor and their maximum power, even Supreme True Treasures couldn't stop them. Who? Dream Demon Ancestor spun her tail. The giant snake tail grew several million kilometers long, like a soft whip lashing through space, as if it divided space in half. As for Peng Gong Master, he could barely resist the attacks from the 12 Universe Masters from the demon race. Peng Gong Master rolled over. He bounced away, yet his speed surged to light speed. Even though Luo Feng all fought seemingly at light speed, they were still slightly slower than light speed. Yet Peng Gong Master reached light speed and was transferred into the dark universe. Darkness Master smiled. Come. Let's go, said Luo Feng. They both surpassed the speed and entered the dark universe. Dark universe. Dream Demon Ancestor was already 10 million kilometers long. The universe masters around it looked tiny. It's useless. Demon Ancestor, we can't give them any chance. Kill. Kill them. Dream Demon Ancestor stopped resisting the attraction from the dark universe. She left the original universe and entered the dark universe. In the virtual universe, on the long stone desk of Huge Axe Godly Palace, sat all the universe masters. But the seat of Huge Axe was empty. Although the universe masters were fighting, they could communicate through the virtual universe and cooperate with each other. I've already felt the power of Dream Demon Ancestor, said Peng Gong Master. I know how powerful a Universe Supreme Master is now. If I'm encircled by Dream Demon Ancestor, and the 12 Universe Masters again, I won't be able to resist it. Darkness Master frowned. It's difficult to fight Universe Supreme Masters. Luo Feng nodded. It's indeed incredible. After all, Universe Supreme Masters were at a different level. The original universe presented restrictions for them. 1. They could only maintain 10,000 times the gene level of Universe Masters. 2. The limit of attacks was top tier level 6. 3. If they killed a Universe Master, they would be punished. 4. The origin of the original universe wouldn't back down, and their privilege to make their orders strictly enforced would be taken away. However, when it comes to assisting skills, like the 10,000 times life gene level and the flying technique at Universe Supreme Master level, they wouldn't be restricted, as they hadn't reached level 6, even though its speed was 10 times or even 100 times light speed. Like resisting the attraction from the dark universe, these were all just assisting skills. With them, Universe Supreme Masters were very difficult to deal with. Other great beings would be transferred to the dark universe once they reached light speed, but Universe Supreme Masters could remain in the original universe, at 10 times, or even 100 times light speed. This was their power. It's time, said Darkness Master in a low voice. I've been using Black Prison Tower and performed sinking into the darkness. I haven't used my real power yet. We haven't either. Long Yang Master, Huang Jian Master, Void Gold Master, and Qing Dong Master all yelled. Me neither. Luo Feng smiled. Just like Darkness Master, he only used his assisting skills. Peng Gong Master smiled. So did all the Universe Masters. It was true. The human race hadn't utilized their power yet. The fight against the demon race might only be the first fight in the entire war. First, they needed to intimidate other powers. Second, they wanted to know more about the power of Universe Supreme Masters through that fight so they could be more experienced. That was why they didn't show their true power. However, they had already learned enough about Universe Supreme Masters. Peng Gong Master smirked. Crush them. Make them fear. Make the demon race regret it. Kill. 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 The 15 beings couldn't hold back anymore. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Inside the dark universe, Peng Gong Master, Luo Feng, Black Prison Tower, and Boat of Mausoleum appeared one by one. Although they were far away from each other in the original universe, they were together in the dark universe. After all, the dark universe was tens of millions of times smaller than the original universe. They were around 100 million kilometers away from each other, yet in the dark universe, Luo Feng and Peng Gong Master were less than 10 kilometers from each other. It was like nothing to them. Luo Feng waved his hand and put away Boat of Mausoleum. Luo Feng, Peng Gong Master, and Darkness Master stood side by side in the dark universe. They were all moving forward slowly, as they would be transferred back to the original universe if they stopped. There were light spots all around the space. They are coming, said Luo Feng. Humph. The demon race. Peng Gong Master sneered. Darkness Master looked aloof. Hong. The 12 Universe Masters and the giant snake also showed up in the space, and the 12 Universe Masters stood on the neck of the silver snake. They were all less than 10 kilometers from Luo Feng. Its tail spun, and it could easily touch Luo Feng. The giant snake said, "You've been fighting in the original universe, so I thought you wouldn't want to enter the dark universe." Ha ha. Dream Demon Ancestor. Luo Feng shook his wings and laughed. In this dark universe, we can easily surpass light speed. There's no limit, which means your advantage will be significantly curbed. Why wouldn't we enter? Did you really think we would just stay there and be crushed by you? Significantly curbed. How arrogant, the silver snake roared. Do you really think you can be as fast as me? You must know, you'll still be defeated even in the dark universe. Hua. The silver snake abruptly sped up. His acceleration speed is much faster than ours. No wonder he can move faster than light speed even in the original universe. Luo Feng exclaimed. We've fully prepared. Hit them hard. Take them down. Down with the demon race. The Universe Masters from the human race were all excited to see Dream Demon Ancestor, and the others charging at them. The giant snake body of Dream Demon Ancestor left a giant curve in the sky with her long snake tail. It slashed at Luo Feng, Darkness Master, and Peng Gong Master. The Universe Masters from the demon race standing on its neck were also attacking him. But Luo Feng, Darkness Master, and Peng Gong Master weren't afraid. Instead, they were thrilled. Black Prison Tower appeared in front of Darkness Master, and under the godly power of Darkness Master, it kept spinning. Countless engravings appeared. Light flowed, and the engravings were changed into black light, concentrating at the tip of Black Prison Tower. The tower tip turned darker, then changed into nothing before it started to shine with white light. The Black Pyramid was gleaming. It hit the body of Dream Demon Ancestor, and it bounced away. Kill. Darkness Master shouted, and his team members appeared. Kill. Luo Feng also yelled, and his team members appeared. Kill. Peng Gong Master yelled. Hong. 12 human universe masters dashed toward the demon race with Luo Feng, Peng Gong Master, and Darkness Master. Although Luo Feng had 12 members, some of them had brought multiple bodies, so there were 16 figures in total. As for the demon race, they needed to concentrate if they wanted to use the supreme techniques, so none of them had brought additional bodies, as they would have distracted them. The human race was encircled and at an impasse, which was why many of them had brought multiple bodies. Dream Demon Ancestor, who was hit and bounced away, was also hit by Yang Jun Rod. Kill. Yang Jun Rod struck again, as if slashing the dark universe. Peng. Although Dream Demon Ancestor tried to fight, it dove down, and the Universe Masters on its body all fell as well. Ice Seal. Nightmare. Extinction 10,000 levels. Dragon Go My Heart. The attacks were all quick. Just when the Universe Masters all fell off Dream Demon Ancestor's body, when it was hit by Black Prison Tower and Peng Gong Master's Yang Jun Rod, the Universe Masters from the human race all started to perform the techniques they were most proud of. Golden Country and Ice Sand Ocean were binding the demons, especially after having lost their protection from Dream Demon Ancestor. They had a hard time resisting the siege by the Universe Masters from the human race. Luo Feng. Luo Feng. Peng Gong Master and Darkness Master both looked to Luo Feng. Demon race. Luo Feng had his 4 wings opened, and his speed surged in the dark universe. Besides, they were fairly close to each other, and he had been the last one to make attacks after Darkness, Peng Gong, and the other 12 Universe Masters. Luo Feng put his hands on Blood Shadow Blade. Blood Shadow Blade, this is the first time I have used you. Demon race. The blade was drawn. The human race terrified Dream Demon Ancestor, and the 12 Universe Masters. The humans were extremely powerful. Peng Gong Master, Darkness Master, all the other Universe Masters, and Milky Way Horde leader Luo Feng. They made attacks one after another. Dream Demon Ancestor thought that Pengong Master and Darkness Master were the most difficult ones to deal with, and she expected Luo Feng to be incredible after receiving the inheritance. Yet she also thought that Luo Feng needed to train himself step by step even after receiving the inheritance. However, when she was diving and saw Luo Feng draw Blood Shadow Blade, she realized she couldn't have been more wrong. Darkness, Pengong, and Luo Feng. Out of the three, the most terrifying one wasn't the first two, but Luo Feng. Luo Feng. Dream Demon Ancestor lashed her snake tail and neutralized the shock wave she had just endured. She tried to rush forward. However, Luo Feng's blade was already drawn. This blade was the most important weapon of Duan Dong River inheritance, the embryo, and it could reach the maximum power with the inheritor. Even without using any godly power, the blade itself was already at top-tier 5th level. Its power wasn't known to Universe Ocean, and this was the first time it was utilized. Nirvana Incarnation, whispered Luo Feng. When the blade was drawn, it gleamed brighter and brighter. The light was only dimming when it was first pulled out, and when it hit the Universe Masters, traces of light concentrated and formed a giant black oval. The oval was like a miniature universe, covering the 12 Universe Masters from the demon race. Inside the black oval, the 12 Universe Masters were trapped in the terrific light. No. No. Let's stop, then we can go back to the original universe. However, the blade moved too fast. The Universe Masters who feared the blade had naive thoughts in their heads. The blade's light in the black oval immediately changed in a mystical way. It transformed into a streak of seemingly ordinary, thin light. The black oval cracked, and the light disappeared after shining for just an instant. It was as if a thin blade had slashed the universe. The black oval turned hollow. All that was left was the dimming golden light, which left a visible trace in the space in the dark universe. It remained there for a long time. Ah? No. The Universe Masters from the demon race roared in agony. They all looked furious and horrified, glaring at Luo Feng in the distance. They couldn't believe what had just happened. The great beings outside couldn't see it, but they were all trapped in the black oval, so they all knew how horrifying that was. The blade first hit Forbidden Master, who was the most powerful, annihilating more than 20% of his godly body. And then it slashed the weaker Jew Bug Master. His top-tier True Treasure armor cracked, and he died instantly. It then touched Sky Wolf Master, and the others, one by one. One attack killed one Universe Master, severely injured 3 Universe Masters, and mildly injured the others. If he attacks us several times again, more than half of us will die. Even the supreme True Treasure Godly Rod from Pengong isn't that powerful. Too sharp. I can feel that blade slashing me, and the force penetrated my True Treasure armor, taking 16% of my godly body. Unbelievable. That blade light was too dense and sharp. Even the armor can't dissipate it. They all felt terrified. Normally, a True Treasure armor could distribute the shock wave to the entire body. However, the attack from Luo Feng concentrated all the power at the tip, and it was dense. The blade technique was created by Luo Feng, and using Blood Shadow Blade to perform it made it all the more forceful. Original Universe. Go back to the original universe. Quick! The Universe Masters from the demon race all stopped. Do you really think you can run away? Luo Feng stopped abruptly. All of them disappeared. Pengong Master, Darkness Master and the other masters all stopped. As for Dream Demon Ancestor, she immediately followed Luo Feng and stopped. The team of the demon race and the team of the human race all showed up in the sky at the same time. Golden Country and the endless white sands were floating, spreading across the sky. Luo Feng was its master. Go. Demon Ancestor. Demon Ancestor. The Universe Masters were all upset. If they hadn't been affected, they would have been able to defend themselves against Luo Feng. However, they couldn't defend themselves when being besieged by all the 16 Universe Masters within the human race, especially under the domain and being suddenly attacked. One of the Universe Masters died, and all of them were injured either severely or mildly. They couldn't fight Luo Feng anymore under the binding. Luo Feng. Dream Demon Ancestor roared in the distance. Luo Feng took a look, and he slashed with Blood Shadow Blade again. Dream Demon Ancestor was blasted away in the dark universe. Perhaps it wasn't far from the Universe Masters from the demon race in the dark universe. In the original universe, it was tens of millions of times farther. Even with Dream Demon Ancestor's speed, it took her a long while. However, Luo Feng was close to the Universe Masters of the demon race all the time. Other Universe Masters of his team, like Darkness Master, were also close to each other. Those Universe Masters had been attacking the demon race in the Dark Universe. Darkness Master was only controlling Black Prison Tower, and he was with Huang Jian Master and Qing Dong Master. Only Peng Gong Master was a bit farther as he fought Dream Demon Ancestor. In Demon Ancestor Secret Region, a giant, sawtooth-shelled strange beast remained in space. Its body was still, as if it were sleeping. Space and time were twisted around him. Huh! Dream T is calling for help. The sawtooth-shelled beast suddenly opened his eyes. His eyes were gleaming. He teleported to his god country, and through god country transportation, he headed toward the destination. Luo Feng completely ignored Dream Demon Ancestor, who couldn't touch him in short time. He waved his Blood Shadow Blade again. It was breathtaking. The blade of light shone, starting with a slight trace. It grew thicker, covering the sky and land, forming a giant, black miniature universe and covering all the Universe Masters completely. Then the black miniature universe cracked, and a thin yet shining golden light flashed. Thin space cracks appeared in the sky, and they cut the space fragments within them. Luo Feng transmitted his voice. Darkness, get them. Darkness Master looked up to the sky. I've been waiting for this moment. When the dark miniature universe dissipated, the Universe Masters started to prepare for a fight, especially with the two top-tier 5th-level Universe Masters resisting it. They all survived the disaster. Though they were injured severely, they all survived the terrific blade attacks. However, before they could feel a sense of relief, a giant black pyramid showed up above them. Get in. Darkness Master controlled that floating black prison tower. The 16 godly bodies of the 12 Universe Masters started to encircle the Universe Masters from the demon race. They all panicked, as the swallowing power of the Supreme True Treasure was too strong. A pinnacle True Treasure was already enough to swallow Yuan Ao Master, forcing him to self-destruct. However, the Supreme True Treasure was doing the job. The Universe Masters from the demon race were already severely injured, and under the pressure from Golden Country and Snow Sand Ocean, many of them didn't even have 1/10 of their power anymore. They only had 50% of their godly bodies left. More than 3 of them didn't even have half their godly bodies left. Get into the palace-type True Treasure. Hide. Resist. Let's go. Under the soul attacks and illusion attacks, Universe Masters from the demon race whose power was weakened completely panicked. They were trapped in illusions and couldn't even break out of them. 3 of the 11 demon race Universe Masters entered the palace-type True Treasure brought by Forbidden Master. However, not everyone could do the same thing under such chaos. 2 Universe Masters were sucked into Black Prison Tower. No. Stop them. Stop them. The Universe Masters who were stronger tried to stop it, but another blade of light shone at this time. No, roared some of the demon race's Universe Masters. Dream Demon Ancestor, who saw this scene, was also furious. She yelled. They had come for the humans, seeking to catch some Universe Masters and to force them to give up the inheritance, yet one of their Universe Masters had died while 2 were caught before they could capture any human Universe Masters. Human. Dream Demon Ancestor cried. Sky Wolf Master, Mohu Master. Luo Feng smiled as he whispered these 2 names. They were the 2 who had been sucked into Black Prison Tower. This video will end here.